Question 29, which of the following is the set of all possible values of t for which f of t is defined? So we're down here. I zoomed out a little bit because this question 29 goes with the given information here and the graph. So it's asking us, where is f of t defined? F of t is the height of the function. And when it's saying where is it defined, what it's really saying is, are there any breaks in the graph? So what can a break look like in a graph? So if I were to give you an XY plane, and let's say there is, I'm just going to make this up, let's say this is -1, and let's say there's some kind of asymptote, which is just kind of like it's like a force field that you can't cross, an invisible line you can't cross. And let's just pretend the graph looked like this. So there's clearly a break in the graph, and that's because if I start from the left side of this graph and I try to follow this curve, there's no way I can end up down here and to continue. Just can't do it. So this is a break in the graph. That's what it's really asking. And if we look at our graph here, we can see this is just a parabola, okay? And we can confirm that by this equation because this has a exponent of 2 as its greatest exponent in the whole equation. So parabolas are not going to have any breaks in the graph. So that means there's nothing we can plug in here to not only just break the graph, but to sort of break the equation, right? I'll use one more example. If I had something like this, and they're saying, is there any value that you can plug in here that would kind of break the graph? Well, without the graph, you could still see how you could break math, so to speak. If I plug in 2 down here, I'm going to get 0 in the bottom, and you can never have 0 in the bottom of a fraction. So that would be an example of a value you cannot plug in, okay? But knowing what a parabola looks like, you would know that there's no breaks in the graph, but also looking at the equation, another way to test this is to say, okay, is there anything I could plug in here that would make this like undefined? And there isn't anything like that. So our answer for this one is going to be E, all real numbers, or any real number that we can use.